and comes out center ice. Ahead now to Burr. Burr goes over the line, drives a shot just wide. And the Red Wing player dumped along to the side of the goal is getting up very slowly. That's Joey Kocher, who just came on. And the play is going to be whistled down for icing. Kocher takes a bump from Tim Bothwell. Then he wants to go after the St. Louis player down there, and Mel Bridgman wants to get into it too. But that was Gilmore. Kocher took a rap going in on goal, and referee Andy Van Hellemond evidently saw nothing wrong with it. Bridgman is still having words with Gilmore. Gilmore's going in. Now we've got a battle getting set to go now as Cavallini and Hallward are going to battle right at the Detroit blue line. Cavallini and Hallward with the referee back there. The other two linesmen have separated Ramage and Burr, and now Rick Zombo is going to be very careful or be a third man in because nobody's bothering to move into the Hallward and Cavallini fracas. I don't know if there's any damage done. They've been mostly wrestling around, and the two linesmen now move in. Well, this started when Kocher was upended going into the St. Louis end. Nothing called, and so the Wings more or less took it on their own, evidently. Cleared up along the boards. It'll be held in. Here's Adam Oates taking it into the corner, trying to work away from Mahar. He does. Back on the right point now is Veach again. Darren Veach drives the long shot. Walmsley the save, and they score on the rebound as it came right out in front. And it was Bob Probert right there. Now Gilmore over the line into the Detroit zone, but dropping back Kocher. Took a bump from Paslowski. The puck loose, still in the Detroit zone. That's be a defensive hockey player, and he's been all of that. Excellent penalty killer. Played off to the side of the Detroit goal. Oh, Bernie Federko skated over, said something to the referee Van Hellemond, and he didn't waste a second. He just points right to the penalty box. Now Federko is screaming at him, and Van Hellemond points that finger at him. Rob Ramage trying to push away Federko. Federko wants it to referee. But Federko has picked up the penalty, whether it's a 10-minute misconduct or unsportsmanlike, evidently a 10-minute misconduct. Federko is yelling from the penalty box area. Steve carries right back in, over the line into the St. Louis zone, drops it toward the corner to Bridgman. Bridgman back to Yzerman with a drive, a bouncing puck, and the Wings score. Probert knocked it in. Bob Probert knocked it in out of the air. And it's a 2-0 Detroit lead on Probert's second goal of the period. Well, let's get those honey-baked hams out, Paul, my boy.
Speaking of hams, Bob Probert's second goal of the game was another honey-baked ham goal, and that sends a $10 gift certificate to Betty Wisniewski of Dearborn, Michigan, redeemable at any convenient honey-baked ham store location.
Back we are in the play in behind the Detroit goal. Herb Ragland ran heavily into the Detroit player. That was Hallward, I believe. Referee Van Hellemond, with the two of them down on the ice, stops the play. Hallward gets up, looks around, and says, "Who hit me?" Back on the left point, Tim Bothwell. Handed back again, and Lemieux fires it wide. They move in. Here's Nordbrett playing it off to the side of the goal, and the Wings bring it back, but there'll be a penalty coming up as Bob Probert now out in front of the goal. We've got Hallward going again. It looked like it was going to start in the corner, but this time it's Ragland really pumping away. I believe it's Ragland. And Hallward, who is down on the ice. Over in the corner, Bob Probert was doing a little shoving with the St. Louis player. Now McKegney brings it out center ice. Drops it off. There's a drive-by whistle that never got through. It goes into the corner, out in front. Right from the face-off, the play goes out in front of the St. Louis goal. Wings try to pull it away. It came loose right out in front, and Murphy scores. Joe Murphy takes the pass from Tim Higgins and a wild scramble out in front of the St. Louis goal. Mahar at center ice, knocked away there by Probert. Mahar picks it up again, feeds off to McKegney with a shot that's grabbed off by Hanlon. He gloved it, he holds on. He's still holding that puck, and now swings it over on the left side. And he just waited and waited for a whistle that Van Hellemond wouldn't blow. Here now is Probert moving back in, a little drop pass. Gallant scores! Gerard Gallant, and oh, the Blues are unhappy right now, I'll tell you. Zombo covered up on Federico to the side of the Detroit goal, and the Wings will bring it out. Here now is Gallant charging back in. He went right through. Gallant going in. He scores! Right through the defense. He just flipped them perfectly, and the Wings lead it 5-0. Center ice, lifting it over the line into the St. Louis zone. Kocher flipped it off into the corner, bumps his man there. The puck came out in front. Bridgman was digging in, couldn't get to it, but here's Kocher. He's in a battle with Rob Ramage in behind the St. Louis goal, and Kocher got the right hand free, landed a couple, 3 times on Ramage. Ramage has the bear hug on Kocher. Ramage can handle himself. Oh, Kocher landed a right hand as Ramage was slipping toward the ice. And the 2 linesmen get into it in a hurry, and they'll head in. Ewing left it there. It's cleared in behind the Detroit goal. Zombo went in after it. Takes a bump in behind the net, but Adam Oates digs it away. Ashton flipped it back down the ice. He's knocked to the ice, and there'll be a penalty coming up. Evans, who really ran into Ashton, gave him another stick as they crossed the blue line. Referee has whistled the St. Louis player to the penalty box. And he'll go in, and now I think it's going to dissolve into this sort of thing. Doug Evans is going to go in. He took a run at Brent Ashton. Hallward centered it. Probert took a swing at a backhander that didn't get through the defense. Penalty is over. The Blues back at full strength. Puck slides all the way out center ice, and a penalty coming up this time to Detroit. Mike O'Connell decks Evans out at center ice. Now Mike O'Connell, I believe, was going to get the penalty, and then he went out there, and you don't see Mike O'Connell do this very much, but he actually came up in the air and just decked the St. Louis player Evans. Eiserman holding the St. Louis player down right now as O'Connell goes into the penalty box, but Detroit may pick up more than a couple now.
That was definitely a payback on Evans for nailing Brent Ashton, and O'Connell just leveled him over on the boards. When they got to center ice, he dropped them again.
For sure tell you which one it was. O'Connell's going to be waved out of the game.
I think Evans got cut at center ice. There seems to be a little blood right on the ice.
Yeah, there is. So Mike O'Connell will pick up additional penalty time, and the Blues are going to have a rather elongated power play here.
Well, I'll tell you, if the call's right, he'll get 2 for boarding to start with, and he'll probably get 5 for high sticking, and that'll give him a 7-minute power play. It's a good break. The score is 5-0 for the Wings, or we can still have a game going here.
And that's the kind of penalty time that stays. They've used up just about a minute of the 12 minutes in penalties. Played back into the Detroit zone, intercepted. Here's Eiserman on a breakaway. Steve Eiserman going right in and goal. He scores! Great penalty killing by the Wings. Played back into the Detroit zone and tipped away right at the blue line by Hallward and Peter Klima. He just went right around Mahar, handed it to Eiserman, a little drop pass for Klima, and he's decked out in front of the goal with a high stick by Benning. John Shabbat. Shabbat lifts it left side. Hallward looks up at the clock and cleared it all the way in behind the goal to Rick Zombo, and the Blues aren't even going to chase him. And Glenn Hanlon has his shutout. And the Red Wings have a 6-0 victory, and a rather strange one, killing off a 12-minute penalty to wind up the hockey game.